After the recent shocking confirmation regarding the Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez fight, many prominent names in the industry have shared their takes on this fight.
Canelo and Crawford looks like it's going to come to fruition in September. What are your thoughts on that bout?
I have nothing to say. It's a good fight. And it's a good fight. I wish both of them the best.
I feel like Canelo, he don't have nobody to fight no more. Like, who would you really want to see him fight besides Crawford? Nobody. There's nobody else. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm just like waiting like you guys, just trying to see who he's gonna fight next. But you know that those are his decisions, and that's his career.
To be honest with you, if I fought Terence Crawford, I would definitely use my size, my reach, my weight to my advantage. Crawford is a very smart fighter, but I guess thankfully I'm not fighting.
To be honest with you, Crawford he's one of the best technical fighters I've ever seen, but. You know, when he went to 154, I'm not saying he had problems, but he kind of looked like he didn't have the power that he had at 147. And he still had to come up two or three weight classes. You know what I mean? But, I mean, I don't know. Crawford, bro, he's like a one-of-a-kind fighter, you know what I mean? Especially since if he knows he's going up to 168, he'll probably bulk up. You know, I feel like Canelo, he's a more natural super middleweight. And if he's going against Canelo, his first fight being at 168, you know, it's kind of already, you know, he has a lot of disadvantages against him. So I feel like Canelo to win.
You give him the edge, Alvarez?
Yeah, bigger, you know, more experience. So I think I'd give him the edge a little bit.
We'll want to see it. It makes a lot of sense, but that doesn't get my juices flowing the way the idea of fighting Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford is the most violent force in boxing. And I don't think he's big enough to match with Canelo Alvarez, but I think he'd love to have a chance to prove it.
I think it's a mystery fight because you can never underestimate somebody with the competitive attitude and the resourcefulness of Terence Crawford.
Terence Crawford's towering and unquenchable ambition. If Terence Crawford weren't the person that he is, that fight wouldn't be taking place.
So Terence is a spectacular talent. And he has one of the greatest assets any fighter can have. He has an innate, inbred mean streak.
It doesn't surprise me, and it's great for boxing that he's at or near the top of the pyramid. Most people rank him #1 pound for pound. I've ranked him #1 pound for pound for the last couple of years. It was always logical that he would want to get a confrontation with #1 dollar for dollar, and Canelo is #1 dollar for dollar. Canelo Alvarez is probably the biggest money that Terence Crawford can ever make in his career. Fighting Terence Crawford looks to Canelo like easy money because there's a 21-pound weight gap starting out here between Crawford's 147 and Canelo's 168.
I am more than ever concerned that he's not big enough, and not big enough to be able to move around the ring and muscle Canelo in the way that he would have to ward off those really vicious inside power shots. Canelo Alvarez, I would have to favor Canelo to win the fight, even though there's certainly not the kind of skill gap that we saw here tonight. Crawford is an amazingly skillful fighter. Maybe that could make up a lot more of the gap, but I would still have to favor Canelo to win the fight. Once in every generation, maybe twice in every generation, you get somebody who is up here, better than all the rest. That's who Canelo Alvarez is.
How does he do against Canelo? He said he lost one.
Give him a chance to get his feet wet in his weight class and be there for a minute before we talk about another jump. Not yet, I don't think so, but that's up to them.
Yeah, look, the first thought is, can he handle the weight jump? Can he handle the weight jump? He being Crawford against Matchmaking, people are going to say, "Oh, he had some hiccups." Who don't have hiccups? Well, after Matchmaking fight again, had a couple hiccups. Now he's stepping up another weight class. Now he's got to fight Canelo, who's even bigger, stronger, better puncher. A unified champion that he's been. All of that stuff. He's not going to be able to handle it. I ask this question. See, I go to the other side. I say, okay, yeah, can Canelo handle the smaller guy who's going to be faster, who's going to be slicker, who's going to be better defensively, who's going to have better legs, who's going to be able sometimes Canelo at this point in his career can slow down a little bit. They're both getting older. I get it. But sometimes, his legs aren't as quick. He don't close the gaps as fast. Gonna take advantage, get off, get to the side, give him angles, do that to him, not allow him to use his power, not allow him to detonate the bomb, not allow him to get off the way he wants to get off. Is he gonna, at the end of the day, before you go and drink the Kool-Aid and go crazy with Canelo, oh, he's too big, he's a good night for Crawford, he's going to bed, all that stuff, not so fast, not so fast. Don't forget that the other guy is bringing something to the party too. And he's bringing the things that hopefully I just described to you guys.
Listen, in the end, Crawford does what he does. He wins. He stepped it up when he had to step it up. He did what he needed to do in the most crucial moments of the fight when he had to. He's a winner. He's a special fighter.
I ain't going against Crawford. Okay? I do think he's that special guy. I think Canelo's special too. But I think Crawford's special in a little bit, even more so. Even more so. He hasn't learned how to lose yet. I think he does have those special ingredients that go beyond the physical genetics, the physical DNA. So that's it. Okay? Good. You don't like it?
Is he the man to beat Canelo?
Yes. Honestly, if anybody could jump up in weight classes and do it, it's Terence Crawford. I don't know nobody who is mentally as strong as Terence Crawford. So I can't wait to watch it.
I think he beat Canelo though. I've been saying. I remember when he fought when they fought. Go watch an interview after the fight. I literally said I think Terence Crawford would beat Canelo.
Okay, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, a long time ago. Yeah. Through the years, like not even just being in the ring with him, but even being outside the ring, watching his demeanor, watching what he doing in his sparring, watching his training camp, how hard he trained. Like, I think skills pay the bills. Yeah. And I feel like, truthfully, he's not as little as people think. Like, people think he's like very small.
He cut weight to get the 147, 154.
Yes. Yeah. He's not as small as like people think. It's just he look like it.
Yeah.
So like if you see him in
person
and he get on a scale or something, you wouldn't believe that's his weight.
Yeah, well, we'll see, man. We'll see when we cross that bridge. See if he can do all that when it comes to a superior fighter like Terence.
I don't know. I don't give a about that, man. Hey, Terence gonna get in there and do what he needs to do. Perform.
Full smoke at that weight.
Let's go, man. That's what Crawford wants. He wants to show the world that he's the best. So, hey, why put stipulations in there when you know that you can be the best? So, let's go test ourselves.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, what you seen that? Everybody that believes in hardcore boxing fans, they know Crawford can beat Canelo just like they knew Bud was going to beat Spence. This is real simple. It's real simple. You just got to know boxing in order for you to be able to say that.
I think Crawford rebuttal was everybody always say he hasn't fought nobody or no everybody that he fought was a no name. But I'm gonna tell you like this: what Crawford said, well, they was something until Crawford fought him. So obviously he's doing a great job because he's making everybody look normal.
It's on, baby. September 13, baby. Look forward to it. Crawford versus Canelo. Listen how I said it.
Hey, are we getting this confirmation here first?
You understand? Yeah, it's confirmed. Man, what?
Say less.
Crawford versus Canelo, not the other way around. Team Crawford stand up, pound for pound, the best in the world, soon to be the super middleweight champion of the world. It is what it is, you know. So that's the type of challenge that Crawford looked for, and it was only right. He deserved this challenge to be on this big stage in a mega fight, in a super fight, and what do we call like a David versus Goliath battle. You know, again, we have a lot of disadvantage in this fight, as far as the weight, as far as would you say power, and a lot of things that's on par as far as the accomplishments, as far as the skill set, and different things of that nature. But we will climb that mountain. What more can you ask for? This is a fight. We didn't get the Pacquiao fight. Obviously, you know, Mayweather or any of that caliber. So this is the fight. It might be a little bit, the guy's bigger. He has a lot of experience. He's young. Canelo, what he 35, 34, something like that. Nothing ever come easy to us. Like I say, we didn't get a Pacquiao, but a guy who's more of our size. It ain't no different, you know. We take on tough challenges and we beat them. So they give us Canelo Alvarez, a hard puncher, IQ of just the same caliber, and a legend, a great in his time.
Like a setup fight at 160. What do you say to those people?
Why? Why would he need to do that and all he's accomplished and all he's shown in the ring? Why would he do that? You know what I'm saying? The things he done hardly been done before. You know, 2-time undisputed, unified champion in 3 weights. 3 weights. You understand that? 3 weights. So 4 weights, but 3 unified in 3. 35, we was the Ring Magazine, WBO.
40 undisputed,
40
47.
we was undisputed, 47 undisputed. So unified champion in 3 weights. You know, 4-division world champion. Been on the pound-for-pound list for the better of 10 years.
Interested in a Canelo Crawford fight? Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, look, it's going to be a great test for Crawford. Both fights have been looking amazing. So yeah, I think it's an amazing fight. Respect to Crawford that will jump up and take that fight because he doesn't need to. He'll still make big money fighting elsewhere. But it seems to me that Canelo's the one that's scared that doesn't want to fight him. I mean, all these excuses he's coming out with. But to be honest with you, what a fight it'll be.
Crawford could beat him because Crawford is a big 147 fighter and is strong as well, which a lot of people don't give him the credit for. I think that fight, if it does happen, as long as Crawford stays away and just boxes and be smart, he can win that fight. I think Crawford's a better fighter than Charlo, and he's a smart fighter as well. He switches and everything, so that would be a very good fight.
I mean, obviously His Excellency was on the rampage over the last 7 days, just speaking to everyone and, you know, putting plans together for lots of different fighters. Obviously not all of those fights end up materialising, but he's got a very good success rate. So you'd have to think that there's a very good chance that fight's going to happen. I think it's a very intriguing fight, 2 generational greats. You know, I think it's very difficult for Bud moving up that high in weight, but if anyone can do it, it might be him. You know, his movement and his IQ is second to none. But it's different when you're facing Canelo Alvarez up there. You know, not just at 168, but on the night, probably 180, 185.
Up from 35, 35, 40, 47, 54. Sooner or later, it's one too many. And 68 is definitely too many. But Crawford's brilliant. Like, he's a genius. He's a generational great. So maybe he can find a way to do it. But I feel he'd be hugely outsized against Canelo Alvarez. Yeah. But you have to use your movement. If you're Terence Crawford in that fight, the last thing you want to do is stand and trade. He'd be moving a lot in that fight, trust me. I'm not saying he'd be running, but he would be moving a lot. Of course.
I don't think it's a fight Canelo really wants, if I'm honest, because I think he feels like he won't get a lot of credit beating a light middleweight. And Crawford's going to move a lot in that fight, which is not ideal for Canelo. I think for Canelo, it's more about the credibility he gets through victory. I think he's a little bit concerned, having spoke to him in the past, that if he beats a guy that's coming up from 147 to 168, is he really going to get the respect for that? So we'll see. I mean, money talks. You know, if it's the right deal, he'll always take the fight.
If he really wants to fight Canelo, he should take a tough fight at 168 first.
Because it's a freak fight, isn't it? You know, it's not his career. He's not heading to 168 pounds. It's a one-off freak fight for a lot of money. That's what it is. And, you know, after that fight, he's going to probably move back down to 154.
Does it make him the GOAT or top 5 all time if he pulls that off?
Canelo Alvarez, I think the GOAT is always difficult.
Debatable?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would make him the best fighter of our generation if he moved up and beat Canelo Alvarez at 168.
Oh, it's going to be close.
3 weight class?
Maybe 3-4 to 1. No crees?
Nah.
It's not going to be that big of a difference. No.
When you pick the knockout? No, when you pick the knockout?
You pick a knockout. But if it's just...
who wins straight out?
I think it's going to be maybe 3 to 1, 4 to 1. Maybe that's too much. Maybe 2 to 1. Bet.
Yes.
I say Canelo by decision.
Crawford by decision.
No, but you say Canelo by knockout or Canelo by decision? No, man. Crawford is fucking gangster. I've always been saying, you know, I think Canelo at the end, you know, obviously his strength, his weight,
experience
probably takes over. But shit, I wouldn't be surprised if Crawford just boxes and fights smart. And you know, he already did so much, and he doesn't need to please nobody. And he's actually doing it on purpose. He's not not gonna please anybody just because we're calling for it. I think he's gonna say I call the shots and I do whatever I want. And he's got power to do it. I think a fight with Terence Crawford will be big, you know. Even though a lot of people think it's a total mismatch, I think Crawford puts up a good fight.
I'm not a big fan of that fight matchmaking because they're too many weight classes apart. And although the skills, Crawford is one of the best fighters that I've seen. I told him yesterday when I met him up last night there at the dinner, I was like, dude, you're a badass. Like, you've been a badass, but he truly does have the skills, and he's a great fighter. He's proven it multiple times, obviously. Canelo is, you know, fighting at 168. Crawford just moved up to 154, and he had some trouble with that in that fight. Now, where do you plan on going? 164, 65, 66? Yeah. Canelo ain't gonna come down to 160.
Yeah,
Canelo ain't gonna come down, you know, maybe 166 max if he accepts.
I'm a big Canelo. I think Canelo wins.
Too big, right?
Yeah, just he's a big boy. He's very big and strong. I think he wins.
He's gonna give him good first 5 rounds though.
But it'll be a good
solid 5 rounds. Yeah, but
he's very smart, very skilled.
I think Canelo wins that fight based on just the size, power and size. Now, skill-wise, I think Crawford's a better skilled fighter, but the difference in size will be the deciding factor, and that's why I'm not even a fan of that fight. As a fight fan, I'm not really a fan of that matchmaking. I'd rather see Canelo move up and fight somebody like Bitterbeef or Revolt again. Yeah. If he wanted to challenge himself, move up to 175 again, and challenge himself against those guys. Not a smaller guy moving up. And same thing with Crawford. He doesn't need to move up to fight Canelo. He could just fight other guys out at 154.
Okay, interesting.
Collect belts at 154, he could attempt that. But there's no money in that compared to a Canelo fight. And Canelo is trying to fight other guys, and you know, at that point it's more of a big fight, you know, for the money that's gonna generate. But
doesn't matter. He's making a lot of good money.
So he still wins. He still wins.
I'll come back for one of those fights for that kind of money.
Terence Crawford's a great fighter. He's proven he can do everything he said he could do. Moving up that much weight is a big task, so that's going to be a tough one. That's going to be a pretty tough one to do. We got two great fighters fighting here, so that should be interesting. But that's too much weight to move up. Anyone can do it. Terence can do it, and he's fighting a great fighter. So that's great. You know, boxing needs to see the best fighting each other, and they may be in different weight divisions now, but it'll be interesting.
It's a good fight, you know, a 50-50 fight, you know, and I guess it's a fight that everybody wants to see. So, I mean, it's a good fight. You said how difficult is it?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a little difficult because you got to, what are you going to have to put on, like an extra 14 pounds? So he might be a little slower, or who knows, he could be faster. I don't know. Like, it's just, you got to add more weight and gain more muscle and stuff like that, moving up in weight and things like that. So it's a little harder, but I don't know. You know, we'll see on fight night how he'll look. Be smart. Take his time. Box and move. Yeah, don't sit there and let him try to bomb on him.
What about Canelo Alvarez?
I feel like Canelo going to press him. Had to press him. Everything behind the stick. You know, and catch him, try and pull out, pull back, anything. You know, cutting the ring off, things like that. You gonna have to bully him. You gonna have to bully the smaller guy. You know, don't let him dictate nothing. You know, show him that's your weight class.
So, in the end, what do you guys think about this potential fight? Do you think it will be the Mexican King who will be declared the victor? Or do you believe that it might be time that another fighter like Terence Crawford beats him down and dethrones him as the best boxer of this generation? Make sure to tell us about your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe to our channel.